second, but first, check out this dime from LeBron James last night.
I wanted to call you last night when he did that. I was like, just stop. I mean, just stop. Right in your shooting pocket.
Perfect.
LeBron, his ability to pass the ball and get it to a shooter right where he wants to shoot.
I mean, behind the
so
back,
underrated.
Bounce pass into a perfect position.
The velocity on
three.
All right, Ben Simmons to Sean Holmes from nearly half court for the alley-oop.
Rayshawn Holmes is quietly moving up the don't want it all-stars, man.
How hard
he
is it
seems like a tough guy. He's always scowling at people. He plays angry.
They got some good storylines there for the 76ers.
All right,
They're fun to watch.
Watch Lonzo finishing the alley-oop. Up.
Go get it with one hand, young man.
Down.
Yeah.
Very good.
That could be me and you, CC, in this basketball league. Till you rescind my invite. More on that later.
This is you right here ducking.
No,
That's me.
That's me throwing the oop.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll give you that. No problem, Coach.
I know that the skin tones are a little worse there, but we got it. We got it.
All right, sticking with the entire Big Baller brand in the Big Apple last night, all the balls were in attendance to watch. LaMelo, LiAngelo, LeVar. And not a bad night for Lonzo. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, but wasn't enough. As the Lakers fell to the Knicks 113-109 in overtime. Lonzo and Coach Luke Walton spoke after the game.
It was a lot of fun. You know, you heard the crowd, you know, the whole game. Just the whole, you know, demeanor in the gym is just crazy. It's my first time playing here. And, you know, it would have been nice if we got a win, but it was very eventful, and it was a good game.
It was great to see happen tonight. We needed it when he did it because they were starting to roll on their end, too. But he's a competitor, and you know, he gave us everything he had tonight.
Nick, let's talk about Lonzo for a second. It was a big stage for him, first time at the Garden. Maybe not the fantastic line, but impressive enough from what you saw from Lonzo?
Was I impressed with him?
Yeah.
No. I have to be fair about Lonzo. Lonzo did something last night, 17 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. It's the 111th time that line's happened in the NBA this year. That line is fewer points, rebounds, and assists than Ben Simmons is averaging this season, okay? So, like, let's just level set on what he did. I am not out on Lonzo Ball. I have not lost hope about Lonzo Ball. People want to bring up the Jason Kidd comparison. Jason Kidd's rookie year, they averaged the exact same points. They both average a combined 14 rebounds and assists. They both shot about 33% from the field. And look what Jason Kidd turned into. So I am not out on what Lonzo Ball can be. But I'm going to be honest about what he is. Last night he was a guy who had a really good third quarter.
He did.
And that's it. Like, that's it. He, once again, for the 25th time in 26 career games, he failed to break 50% from the field. The difference between last night and most games we see from Lonzo is his three was falling. He was 3 of 6 from 3, and that's why he had the 17 points instead of the typical 9 or 10 points. Like, I just think we got to be fair about what he is right now. What he is right now is a limited offensive player because of his shot. Last night his shot was falling. That doesn't mean he can't be an outstanding player in the future. But his team lost and he played an okay game. And so, no, I'm not going to give the second overall pick bonus points for that.
What did the first overall pick do last night?
Well, first overall pick hasn't played yet this year.
Oh, yeah. He played a little bit.
Markelle Fultz, he played the very, very beginning.
Right.
Sorry. He in the very beginning, and he's been out with this shoulder injury.
Right.
Correct.
Don't know when he's going to come back.
No. They say maybe a few weeks, but probably longer, knowing Philly.
Most of the top 10 picks in the NBA this year are all struggling. Would you agree?
Yes.
The only thing is we're following this kid every move, every turn, every dribble, every shot. So it's hard to be fair about where he is. You can get excited about what he did in the Garden last night because he was far more engaged. There's a huge atmosphere in the Garden. Did he handle that? I thought that he did. When you don't understand the NBA and you don't understand the magnitude of how big things could be, Spike Lee on the court, Magic Johnson on the court, OBJ there. I thought that he handled his family being there, his mom being there. I thought That was nice to see. His brothers being there. That was all good stuff. He didn't fall on his face. So for me, most of the rookies are struggling.
Yeah.
I expect him to continue to struggle. And based on what I've seen leading up to this season, he is building. He's better than he was last week. He's better than he was 2 weeks.
I don't know that I believe that.
Well, you don't have to. It's my opinion.
Right. But
right.
Go ahead.
Last night, in handling some other things, not just his shot, but there's other things that go in being a professional athlete that I like to give him credit for. I like to see his family there supporting him. And to be able to perform in the Garden, that's not an easy task. The Knicks were playing well. They needed that burst that Lonzo gave them in the third quarter. No, he's not going to the Hall of Fame and everything, but where he's been, where all these other rookies are right now, I thought it was a positive performance by him and the Lakers last night.
Here's my concern, Jen, and the reason that that it's to me not even necessarily like some major step in the right direction. There 4 times this year, Lonzo has scored at least 15 points in a game. There's one thing all those games have in common. Those are the 4 games this year he's hit at least 3 3-pointers. In those 4 games where he has 15 points, he's shooting 48% from 3. In the other 22 games he's played, he's shooting 18% from 3. If I'd have seen Lonzo last night attacking more, getting to the foul line, he got to the foul line once in the game late on a 3-point attempt that they called a shaky foul on. I'm seeing he's playing the same style that is concerning when his 3-point shot isn't falling. And I don't think, and I don't think Chris thinks either, that all of a sudden the shot is fixed. So I don't want to be overly critical of him. And I don't think it's being overly critical of him to say to me, he's the same guy he's been most of the year. Guy who rebounds great for his position.
3 weeks ago, you had him going to the G League. He's not the same player. 3 weeks ago, you had him going to the G League.
And by the way,
and last night, that's a G League player?
Last night it's the same player he was 3 weeks ago, but his 3-pointer fell. I had him going to the G League to get his confidence up, right? It wasn't because he's the worst of the rookies. It's because his confidence appeared shot. If he builds on last night, then I will come on and say, hey, you know what, CC was right. The bright lights of Madison Square Garden, playing a good game for him in that spot, it was a turning point for him. But I have no reason to believe that's a turning point.
Right. He's not playing worse in month 2 of the NBA than he did in month 1. All right? What you want to see with young players is when they get exposed to the speed and the tempo of the game, how do they adjust? He is getting better. He's not a finished product. But to be fair, if we're going to analyze every game every other night, let's just be fair. He's gotten better than what he used to be.
But also a lot of that is on us. So, like, take a look at these 2 markets. You have your New York and you have your L.A. 2 biggest markets, right, arguably, in the league,
they are,
easily.
Definitely.
The Lakers' #1 pick was Lonzo Ball. The Knicks took at number 8 Frank Ntilikina, right? Mm-hmm. So this guy, Frank, is playing and living in the New York spot like every single night. Never hear anything about him. I mean, he's not fantastic, not putting up amazing numbers. He was only taking 6 spots lower than Lonzo Ball. But because we are so zone focused, like laser focused on every move this kid makes, I think to his detriment that we are setting him up for this constant disappointment. This line is not great. This line is not great.
But it's not just the dad. When the dad says what he said, when Magic says we're going to hang his rafters one day, and when you play for the Lakers, you're right, New York's a bigger media market. The Lakers are the most important team in the NBA. Period, point blank. History-wise, they're the most important team. Like this is part and parcel with what you got. And so I'm not killing the guy. The improvement CC is seeing on a month-to-month basis is not what I've seen. But maybe we'll see how he is in month 3.
He was not a G League player last night.
Okay, well, we can talk more about the G League thing later, but that was about confidence, not level of play.
All right, coming up, what should we expect from one